In Uganda, social media frequently shows footage of parents and caregivers abusing their children in many ways. But this situation is not unique to Uganda, and this is why the World Health Organization has organized the first ever global ministerial conference on ending violence against children from the 7th to the 8th of November in Colombia's capital, Bogota.
Governments across the world from 193 countries are all going to make commitments, and these commitments are therefore going to be used as the platform for us to hold governments accountable, but also it's going to guide the implementation of interventions to address violence against children across the world.
Now, civil society organizations working towards the protection of children's rights under their umbrella organization, Uganda Child Rights NGO Network, have met up to draft key issues affecting children's rights in Uganda, which they want the country's delegation to this conference to interest itself in.
Because as you can see, the number of CSOs that are here working in different districts of the country, a big representative of all the different districts have statistics, have experiences. So I mean, when our voices are put together, definitely we will have a perspective that the government will be able to appreciate and be able to voice.
At the forefront is the issue of children's torture, which has mainly manifested through corporal punishment, both in schools and at home.
Our Children's Act amended 2016 banned the use of corporal punishment, but only banned the use of corporal punishment in schools. So our plea is that the government will make the commitment to ban the use of corporal punishment in all settings.
Sexual harassment and violence against children is another critical area that they want discussed by Uganda's contingent.
A girl child has suffered effects of sexual violence. As we all know, teenage pregnancy in Uganda is rated at 25%. It has stagnated over the years, increased during the time of the pandemic, but stagnated over the years, meaning it's not going down. And yet, there's so many efforts that are being made towards ending teenage pregnancy. But we also have the issue of child marriage.
These civil society organizations also want an increase in the funding of the justice, law and order sector that concerns itself with the protection of children's rights.
Whether it's the police or the probation officers, we want to see that there is more commitment from the government in allocating resources towards fighting and ending violence against children. We want to see an increased number of prosecution of the perpetrators who are causing this violence against children.
This is in addition to the creation of a single integrated child protection system meant to offer a pathway to victims of this violence. It is also critical that this conference discusses society challenges that lead to violence against children.
There is a lot of violence, there's gender-based violence at home. And since there's gender-based violence at home, as long as there's continuously gender-based violence or domestic violence, children will end up being victims of that. Two, the parenting. Our parenting in the country has, what is the English word, has gone to the dogs.
The final document drawn up by Uganda Child Rights NGO Network is expected to be presented to the Ministry of Gender for discussion and approval. Joyce Nakato, NTV Weekend Edition.